My fiancé threw away all my merch. Hello everyone. Today's story is titled, My Fiancé Threw Away All My Merch. What exactly happened? Let's find out.
I'm a die-hard fan, but life keeps me busy, so I only get to attend concerts once every 2 to 3 years. I also occasionally go to fan meetings and buy albums when they're released. That's my only real hobby and the thing that brings me joy. At home, I had 2 posters on my walls. One was a freebie that came with an album, so it had my favorite artist's face on it. The other was a promotional poster a friend in the industry gave me, and it didn't have a face on it. I put the artist poster on my front door and the promotional one on the wall by my bed. I kept most of my merch in a box, except for a few concert tickets and souvenirs. Compared to how long I've been a fan, my collection was pretty modest. The only thing I had on display was a plushie I bought at a concert. After my fiancé and I introduced our families and agreed to get married, he started coming over to my place frequently. Eventually, he even asked for my door code, and since we were engaged, I didn't see a reason not to share it. Since then, he'd bring groceries over and even clean my place, which I genuinely appreciated. But then, I went on a business trip for about a week, and when I got home, something fell off. There was this strange, unsettling feeling. I turned around and my poster was gone from the front door. I stepped into my room and the wall above my bed was completely empty. The plushie was missing. The bottom shelf of my bookcase was empty. All my albums were gone. I immediately called my fiancé. "Did you come to my place while I was gone? Where are my posters, my plushie, and my albums?" And you know what he said? So confidently. "I threw them away." I was stunned. Why the hell would you throw away my stuff without asking me? And instead of apologizing, he had the audacity to lecture me. "Did you seriously plan to bring all that to our newlywed home? Grow up." I was beyond furious. I yelled, "We're not getting married. Where did you throw them away?" And started rummaging through my trash can. But it was empty. Then he said, "I took them to my house to make sure you wouldn't fish them out and put them back up." I was shaking with rage. "You threw away my belongings without a single word, and you don't even have the decency to apologize? Bring them back or I'll report you for theft." And you know what this arrogant jerk said? He laughed. "Go ahead. The cops will be on my side. Post about it online. Ask random people on the street. Everyone will agree with me." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I hung up, turned around, and opened my closet. And there, still untouched, was my merch box. He must not have realized what it was. It looked completely ordinary from the outside. That was some relief, but the whole situation was so absurd that I burst out laughing, and then started crying. I hadn't even unpacked my bags yet. I hadn't even changed out of my work clothes. All I'd done was argue on the phone until I broke down into full-on ugly sobbing. I cried for so long that I lost track of time. But then I wiped my tears, took a deep breath, and texted him. "We're done, don't contact me. Tell your parents yourself, we've already told mine, and they don't want this marriage either. Even if you bring my stuff back, I don't want to see you again. I don't care what you do, you're disgusting. Get lost." And then I blocked him. I immediately called my mom. In the moment I heard her voice, I started crying again. I was full-on wailing when my parents rushed over to my place. When my dad saw my empty shelves and walls, he was furious. He looked around and muttered, "That bastard." That little piece of before picking up his phone. And then he roared at my ex-fiancé, "I don't care how badly you were raised. This is too far. You think my daughter is a joke?" Then, without waiting for a response, he ended with, "This wedding is off. Forget it ever happened," and hung up. My ex tried to call back, but we blocked him on everything. And the next day, my dad went out and bought every single album from my favorite artist, starting from their first release. He even brought back the life-size standee my friends had given me back in college, which had been stored at my parents' house. I thought I'd move on after a few days. But every time I see the empty spots where my posters and plushies used to be, I get angry all over again. And that arrogant line my ex threw at me, "Go ahead, post about it online." keeps replaying in my head, so here I am. I still feel guilty whenever I see my parents, but honestly, I'm still furious. That's why I'm sharing my story.
Wow, that was intense. And here's how people reacted to this story. Even if it's not something valuable, you don't just walk into someone's home and take their stuff without permission. Who does that? Who the hell does he think he is? Report him. This guy's absolutely insane. Respect to the dad who bought all the albums from scratch. MVP. So, what do you guys think about this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next story.
Korea Storytime.